Hey everyone. I thought I would quickly throw together what I've been working on before I go to bed. So I've been playing around with Skitarii more, and I'm starting to really like it. I'm not ready yet to advertise any builds again, but I'll show you what I've been working on, and I think there's a lot of cool potential here. I've got a Sharpshooter build, which I'll go through in the Circanium for this video, and also a few other interesting builds. I love the idea of having like a support via support slash tank build. So I've been working on this one where I'm using a lot of the servo skulls and trying to beef up my allies. I love the new idea of the plasma gun, the one that has sort of a blast radius, not this mark, the other mark here. Although I'm not quite happy with it yet because the stagger is quite dreadful if you miss a target. So I'm going to come back to this one a little later, but I think there's some cool potential here. I am looking at trying to do a really heavy hitter build, melee, either using the new sword here or the falchion. I'm so happy to have another class I can use the falchion because I made a whole video on using this with a veteran. It is pretty cool. I haven't got it to quite work right yet, so I'm going to come back to that one. And this is the build I was playing around with in my last video, the arc reactor build. We'll come back to this one. I think I've gone on to something. I'm not quite sure if it's right yet, but there's actually a really cool thing you can do with this gun here. You can set it to have a blessing that is giving you free bullets from the reserve when you do crit hits, and then other ones that can give you more critical chance. And some of the other stuff in this tree here, which I'm going to go through for the Sharpshooter, adds rending. And if you guys don't know, like, this is a really awesome modifier to have in your shooting arsenal. So I'm going to come back to this one. I'm not quite sure what direction I'm going to go. I definitely can make a big improvement from what I did in my last video. I've learned a lot. And I think I'm not really sure what to do with this one. I'm just experimenting. But let me show you this Sharpshooter build, because I think I've got the sharpshooting aspect right. Now, I'm using the galvanic rifle, which I think is cool. It's got these blessings at the moment. I've been playing around with different ones, but I think these are the ones to go with. You're going to get plenty of crits once you turn on your ability. So crit damage I've been using as the perk, and weak spot damage because we're going to be hitting weak spots constantly. And then the other two blessings involve weak spots. So extra strength for weak spot hits and more crit damage for a weak spot hit. So you'll see why that's really beneficial here. And this is the talent tree. What I'm going to do is take this apart and redo it again and show you like why I decided on all these particular perks. The issue though is there's not much here for toughness. So it is a bit of a weak class. I drop pretty easily. I do have these curios. I'm still waiting to get the last 217s. But I think I'm going to have to, if I go with this class, I need to probably choose a weapon that's fast. Just something that can kind of keep the enemy away, because I tried using my old arc maul, but without all the other talents that beef it up, you're very slow. So I've still got to work on that aspect, but the shooting part, I think I'm nailed down. Now let me take this apart and show you. So these are the same two classes. I'm going to reset this. We'll go through it. I'll be a little faster this time than last time. I don't have the spreadsheet again, but I'm going to use the same strategy I did before. So we have head hits on this quick crusher here. I'm getting the one strength stack every time I make the shot. So I'm letting that die down, and I'm getting 4, 3, 6 weak spot hits on this crusher every time. It'll increase with the stacks I'm getting for weak shot hits for the blessing on this gun. And if I get a crit, it'll be a big bonus with the 10% blessing and the 60% weak spot crit on the gun. Oops. Let's go a little faster here. I don't want to bore you. We've got I just got to go back to this tree to remember what I've done. So we can go down the right-hand side first. It's really so much more complicated using this radial tree, but I'm getting my head around it, and I actually like it because it gives you more customization. I'm falling in love with it. So we'll go down this track, and I'm gonna pick. I need to get down to increased damage. So ogre damage. That's a pretty simple one. 545. We get this increased damage for killing elites, stacking 4 times. So if we go over here and pop off a few of these guys. We got 4 stacks now. 632. Oh, I should look at the inspect as well. I haven't done that yet. So have a look at this. We're looking at weak spot hits on the carapace at 411, and we were at 436, so that's getting that strength bonus and the weak spot 10% bonus as well. And the crit isn't really that great, and the crit weak spot isn't that great either. So I think just focusing on these weak spots is your primary goal here. You could even maybe change that perk, the crit weak spot perk, to something like strength. So maybe that could even... I'll come back to that. Let's go down to the ability. You need to get down to here. So extra ammo. And then we're now getting really, really good weak spot hits and less recoil. So this isn't going to increase the damage at all, but I'm going to be guaranteeing that I'm making hits. So where it comes in handy in terms of damage, we got 5% granted to elites, stacking 5 times. Elite kills, so it's the same as this one, it looks like. And then this one is increasing reload speed, which I do actually need. I think it's these two actually are necessary for this gun because the reload is so slow. The range, cleave, and crit. Now this is where you maybe could drop it because the crit isn't really as beneficial as it is in other cases. But we'll put it on here for now. And fire rate, I don't think we need it with this gun. We actually don't want it because there is another ability here where if you don't shoot for a second, you actually get an extra 10% damage stacking twice, so 20% damage. So we don't want to be popping off rounds too quickly because we want to get that stack. And it's worth it to just take your time and save your ammo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're going to be killing most things in one shot anyway, so it's worth it to not increase your fire rate. Then we do need that extra reload speed. So this is happening when we're doing... Additionally, after not shooting for 5 seconds, each second shot reloads 75% clip from your ammo reserve. The reload speed is what I want. So the other thing's nice, but we could potentially drop it if we want to. See, this is the one I would drop as well as this one if I wanted to go down and get more toughness for close combat or toughness regen. Weak spot hits are going to be made all the time, so we get more capacitance, which is going to boost our ability down over here. Then weak spot damage. So now we're doing some pretty nice damage. 751, 717, 711. We now are going to go down this other tree. Actually, I forgot this one. This is on ability use, so we're going to be using this when we turn on Advanced Combat Doctrines. So we're close to 800 now. And getting more capacitance is always handy. But we could potentially drop that for more toughness. Now this is what I want. Rending. I would say ammo is nice, but dang, if you can get rending, it's always worth it against those heavy targets. So I go down this tree. We're getting our toughness back, which is handy for weak spot hits. We're going to be ending up in a situation a lot where we're going to need to do melee. I think actually probably this would be better. We just need to find a way to get down here. But that one is pretty handy as well when you're sprinting or sliding. But fighting is probably the best thing to do rather than trying to run away because people are going to hit you in the back. But any way you do it, if you get down to here, we're now at 7.5% rending. So look what that's going to do to our damage now. 1,000, 1,011, 1,012. So we are making massive gains on the damage going through carapace. Now, if we go up here, there's a few interesting ones which are a little bit more questionable, but let's do it. Crit hits giving more capacitance is always handy because we're going to be getting a lot of crits with this particular modifier. This is going to boost our... Actually, you know, if we saved... See, that's why I didn't go down that tree, because I wanted to get that particular modifier. But this gives you a 6% crit chance. This one, when you spend stamina, so running, you're getting an extra 15% damage. So when you're running up through a level, you can see that pops on. Stop, turn your modifier, turn your ability on, pop off some rounds. Now we're in the 1,200, so almost 1,200. So let's run. Pop. Let's see if I can get one without a crit. Almost 12. So that's definitely one you want to get for damage. You're going to be using your stamina quite often. And hitting 3, you're very rarely going to be hitting 3 with that particular gun. So it's probably better to go down this toughness damage reduction with the charge levels. So we go here. And the reason I want to do that is I want to get this. 12% strength whenever you get a charge. So if I wait for that charge to regen, we can speed it up a little bit here. There. $1,263, 1,400. So that little bit of extra strength is making a big difference, and we're going to be popping it off automatically all the time, so you don't really need to pay attention to it. Then this is where it gets interesting. I haven't really played with this one too much. The reason I want to go down this route is the rending. Look at this. You get more rending. So it's a little tricky to pop this one off. It's giving you the capacitance whenever you get a charge for the ability. And it's a bit tricky. It's confusing because it's either when you spend one or gain one. So I tried paying attention to this to get it to go off, but I think you are going to be popping it off quite often just without thinking about it. The reason why it's important is you need at least 3 to get this particular modifier in the keystone. And you can have more ability points if you go down this route. And also 5% strength for each charge you have had on use. So use on ability use, gain 5% for each charge. Ooh, that's interesting. So if I have 5, should that be 25%? I think that's the theory behind it. So there, we're at 4. So we should be at 15 plus 7.5% rending. And getting that strength modifier whenever we turn on our ability. So this is nice. I like this one a lot. And we are now out of talent points. So this is where I would start trimming things down in terms of maybe the crit and capacitance, just so we can boost up some of the damage reduction. I won't do that today, though. I'm going to play around with what's the best option. I just want to kind of show, if you can get all of these damage ones, at least, and maybe cut back on reload and such, you should be dealing some nasty sharpshooter damage. And I did try it, and yes, it is tough. So we'll boost up everything we have here, and let's pop it off. See what I mean? There's so many modifiers increasing your damage. 2,500 weak spot damage. That's not a crit. You don't need crits. That's why I'm really interested in this, because it actually isn't even really worth having the crits. So let me come back to this a little later. I'll upload this video. I would love to get your comments if you guys found another way to make this sharpshooter build work. But it's the first time I've actually had a sharpshooter class that I liked. I mean, all the other classes have something that can kind of snipe, but this is the first time I've actually really enjoyed it, because it's powerful and you don't miss. It's a nice sounding gun. So I am a fan. I'm gonna see if I can get this to work with the falchion, because I do really like this particular weapon now that I've used it with the veteran. And I just need to kind of get this set so that I can defend myself if I run out of ammo. So anyway, let me leave that at this point, and we'll do an actual playthrough video a little later, and I'll see if I can kind of really get this class honed in and working good. It's definitely becoming fun. I'd highly recommend it. It's a cool talent tree. All right, guys, I'll let you go.